Hey, howdy. Star of Providence. I like this game a normal amount. So I want to play some of it. And I'm probably gonna do Skully, because Skully is amazing and I love him. I'm tempted to do a high loop. I'm just gonna do loop 0. I want to chill today. Maybe I'll do some high loop attempts in later videos, but I wanted to wanted to do a more normal run. Because I don't think I've ever actually done a commentated video of this game on the channel before. I think I showed one of the late game bosses a while ago, back when the game was still called Monolith. And this is the first time I've come back to it since I mean, I did a video of the final boss of Star of Providence, of this version of the game. Now that it has been renamed to Star of Providence, but this is a fun game. This is a deeply, deeply, deeply fun game. I've never been huge on bullet hells, but this game just works for me. I don't know why. And I mean, I've never been huge on bullet hells, but I also really like Isaac, and Isaac is like a stone's throw away from being a bullet hell at times. It's like, this is much more of like a proper... I'd equate this much more to something like Tuho than I would with Isaac. It definitely wears its roguelike inspiration on its sleeve. Ah. That was on me, I should have cleared a path. I'm not too worried about my performance on this, because I've already beaten the final boss on Loop 13. That is the hardest thing that I could possibly do, besides there's a set of trials that you can do that are all brutally challenging. And I've only completed 2 of those out of the... I believe there's 5 total. And they're very, very challenging. It's also not the stuff that... It wouldn't make very good, like, video material if it's not a video of me clearing it, because it is just me banging my head against a wall and trying it over and over and over until it works. Let's go shortcuts. Unfortunate accidents can be really good, but I think it's a low enough loop I don't really have to worry about bosses being bullet factories quite as much. There are some bosses on high loops that are just complete hell. Like a Nightmare and Fish both come to mind, where they are both particularly bad for that. I'll take Backshot, I'm at full health. I don't particularly like Backshot, but you can make it the core of your build. I should probably address what the hell I'm even doing here. This is not the normal way that you play this game. The normal setup for this game is you have a basic ship with a kind of a similar setup as something like Ikaruga. I think is the best point of comparison. Oh right, shortcuts are open. The main difference is that there are weapons that you can find in weapon chests, and there are also upgrades that you can get from those little upgrade terminals. And this character still has the upgrades, but the method of getting weapons is slightly different, and you have this weird... I'd almost compare it to, like, Resident Evil, or there's that one game, Backpack Hero, where it's kind of a similar thing. This seems really good. healing every floor, and also you need less HP parts to gain more max HP. That seems great. But you end up with this weird, like, fragmented weapon system where you get dominoes. You have to place those dominoes down in whatever arrangement to try and build up a cool weapon build. It's a lot more interesting than it was before this update, because this character's been in the game since the Relics of the Past DLC, but he was, I don't think he was bad, but he was definitely weird. The old design was drop-dead simple, that you could get, minor permanent upgrades to your build, and there was no limit on how many of them you could get, but all the runs felt really weird and samey. This system is a lot better. There's a lot of really cool, genuinely very powerful ways you can optimize this character. And one of those strategies is to just go all in on razors. Temporal instability. This one's not amazing, but I'll take it. Most of the T-blocks are generally not worth picking up. There are a few that are amazing and really, 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 really strong. But this is one of the ones that's just kind of weird and weak. It would be better if I had Ricochet or something, but I only have backshots, so... Like, look, if I'm sitting in the middle, sometimes bullets will reflect back to me, but the chance isn't very high. If I had Piercing, it might do something, but I kind of doubt that. For some reason, this game is great for me to zen out. It feels weird to say because it's such a high-stress game in most situations, but it's like, once you get into the groove, it's a good game to chill with. I'm kind of hoping for energy bombs. I'll show my build at the very end of the run, but I intentionally have a lot of the bomb types disabled so that I have a higher chance of getting the ones that just give stat boosts in exchange for, you go through them quickly, and you can no longer use bombs while they're active without using up one of those energy bombs. It is a little funny how this character does not care about ammo. Now I'm kind of hoping that the bomb that I have that is the shovel icon is an excavation bomb, and it's sort of like the red key from The Binding of Isaac. And in fact, I'm fairly certain the effect for the red key was directly based on it. Was directly based on this, because Kilburn is apparently a fan of this game. It has been for a while. That's good enough. Oh god, we also have a breach. The breaches are weird. I might get my ass kicked. I also might end up spawning something very, very dangerous, but we'll see on that. But I think right now, the full pool of bombs that I have access to are fire bombs, shattering bombs, excavation bombs, which I really want, energy bombs, which I really want. Let's just do Scrap Runner. I'm not really worried about my setup here. Energy bombs. I think deep freeze bombs are disabled, time bombs are disabled, laser bombs, golden bombs. I'm trying to think if there's any others that are in the pool right now that aren't disabled. The ones that I want are excavation and energy. Gold bombs could be fun, but they're not particularly good. Black hole is amazing. No boss. Okay, nice. Sometimes that thing spawns a boss. Oop. Okay, relatively easy breach room. These rooms can be kind of insane. And they also, if you notice, they also disable your weapon. So I need to be very careful. But we're in there. There are still some achievements I need to get, and maybe if I make this a recurring series, I'll go back through and get those achievements done. Because besides the trials, there is a character that I still haven't beaten the game with, and I probably should have by now. It's the Chaos Ship. Oops. It's the Chaos Ship that shuffles your weapon every room. And it's pretty annoying, but it's not a very difficult ship to win with. At least that's what I'm telling myself, but I still haven't done it yet. This might be my least favorite boss outside of story bosses. It is such a pain to fight. Especially on higher loops. Mainly because of this attack. RNG in a game like this can be very, very frustrating. And that is one of the most random feeling bosses in the game. I don't know about the most random. The most random might be, Erzatz, which is one of, like... It's a late-game boss with methods to fight him that I won't spoil. But he is, like, fairly late into the game. And he has low enough health that his attacks really aren't that big of a deal. It's just sometimes they can catch you in an unwinnable situation. But I mean, it's first floor at the end of the day. You're not going to die to that boss. But it is going to rough you up a little bit. That boss has deceptively low HP if you aim your shots right. Because it's one of the only segmented enemies one of the only segmented bosses in the game, excuse me. But it's also the only one where the segments take damage separately. Because I think the full list of segmented bosses is, the Worm, that guy, there's a duo of constructs that you can find in a later floor. Ooh, that's good. And there's a boss in Maintenance System, Ice Worm, that is obnoxious, but... Yeah, he's pretty obnoxious. I was about to say, but he's not that bad. He's one of the worst bosses to find, because it's very easy to take damage against him, and I want to take damage as little as possible, especially now, and I'll explain why at the end of this floor. But I want to work my way back up to ideally a 3.0 multiplier, 2.5 at the very least. And I will explain all of it in due time. These enemies get deceptively more difficult on higher difficulties. Nah, I can just swap that out later. Those enemies fire a bunch of bouncing projectiles on higher difficulties, and it is really rough to get around. And like I said, ideally I won't take any more damage. If I do, it's no big deal. But there is cool stuff that is locked behind having a high multiplier. I almost have a full build locked in. That's kind of crazy. Ooh, okay. I'm glad I had that shield. Those rooms with the sirens are danger rooms, and they're actually quite. They're quite. I'm quite happy to see them whenever they show up because, oh god, assuming that you complete them, they're almost guaranteed to give you one of the rewards in a bubble, which can be really good. But the trouble is those rooms can be kind of tricky. It's Ordinator, okay. I can deal with this. Just need to make sure not to get greedy, and we're fine. As long as I'm not too choosy about when I use bombs, I should be okay, but this attack can be a little sketchy sometimes. We got it. Okay, so, the reason why I wanted a good multiplier is because of this. And I'm not taking Hapophilia because Hapophilia is not amazing, especially while I have Backshot. So, this is the temple. This was added in the Relics of the Past DLC. And it is a massive, sweeping set of modular rooms with different gimmicks. Now that we're in here, I don't have to be quite as concerned with my multiplier, but all of these bosses drop cartridges that impact me based on if I have a high multiplier or not. So I'd like to keep it that way, but I'm no longer going to be locked out of content if I get hit. Oh! That cat, I think that's a rare chance to happen. I wonder if that's one of the developers or something. It feels way too specific. Maybe it's like a reference to a game they worked on or something. Kingmaker's cool, but the square tiles are generally really bad. Because you gotta find a place for them. I'll take the 1%. There's another video that shows this up. I think it's that one video of the guy doing all super bosses on the highest loop, where that Executioner's Blade will keep falling after it leaves frame. So if you teleport to a lower room, you will see it fly by. I don't think I've ever been able to see it myself, but it does happen. I should have picked that up. It's no biggie. Of all the drops to miss because you didn't want to get hit, that's easily the least concerning one. Tempted by rearview mirror here? I guess I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up just so that it refunds the other one and gets me some charge on Scrap Runner. Because I have so much money right now. Chests, nice. This build isn't bad, but I need slightly more scaling if I want to make it to the end of the game comfortably. Let's see. Fire rate, Swarmer chance, Survival kit, edged casing, recycle. Probably swap out recycle, it's not really doing much. I'm definitely not going to be using extra ammo now. Because those swarmers do a good chunk of damage. So I think my plan from here is just to keep firing as much as I possibly can, so that I'm constantly spawning swarmers. And ideally I would have had, there is a toggleable package of items that have to do with swarmers, and ideally I'd have it turned on right now, but it includes a swarmer bomb, which I don't really care for. So, and when I was trying to hyper-optimize for the energy bombs, I ended up disabling it. Maybe I'll change that, because there is a cartridge included with that set that doubles swarmer damage, which can be really, really good on this character. It's a give and take. I'll probably swap it out after. I'll probably swap it back in after this run. The Razor is real good for this. My major character arc with this game over the past few weeks has been falling in love with Razor again, because Razor is kind of a tricky weapon, especially on classes that aren't Skully. It's weird, very weird and inconsistent at times. Like, it's got low lows, but it also has very high highs. In the right build, it can kill things incredibly quickly. There's also a chest back there that I haven't opened yet, so maybe I get ammo from the boss and then go and try to open it now that I have Crowbar. Nothing stupid so far, I'm surprised. Sometimes this floor can be pretty mean. Oh my god. Well, that'll be fun after this floor, but I guess that means that I can't use bombs anymore, which is a little scary. I have plenty of health, that should be fun. I would not be doing this on high loops, but, I mean, how can I not? This is a rare opportunity. I just got 3 excavation bombs from the same crate. I may as well use them. no build makes me want Cloak more than build with Skully, because there is a cartridge that completely disables contact damage, and it would be kind of insane on this character. Okay, let's go over the ammo. And now I'm concerned, but I think we'll be fine. This boss is hard. Very dope music as well. I hate the sword phase. This phase is absolutely brutal on higher loops. I mean, hey, this entire fight is. This is probably the hardest fight in the game on Loop 0, if I had to guess. Oops. There's just so much that it can do. Also, lots of Touhou references that I don't fully get because I've never played a Touhou game. But I've seen enough of other people playing Touhou that I can kind of clock that they're happening. You'll see there's a pretty blatant one later on in the fight. Oh, right, this boss doesn't deal contact damage. I should have been taking advantage of that. It's an Isaac kind of thing, where like it's not standardized what enemies can and can't deal contact damage. You kind of just have to know, unfortunately. Oop. This is the attack I was thinking of. I'm almost certain this is a reference to a Touhou boss. Because I think there is a spell card that freezes time. If I remember correctly. I think I just got hit there. No. Okay. And this is a reference to Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There we are. A little messy, but I made it work. You know, it's been a long time. I guess I'm really not as strong as I was back then. Don't let it escape. I did not mean to pause, I was checking the audio. Sorry, kind of ruined the moment there. Even after all this time and the new content from the Into Oblivion update, this still might be my favorite boss in the game. I adore its design. It has big Kirby final boss energy. Ah. I need to be careful, because those big orbs do deal double damage. Oh, that attack with the screen fill is absolutely terrifying the first time you fight this boss. I always forget that there is a tail in the background there. There's like little particles, but I always get hit by that. This is another attack that I always get hit by, and wouldn't you know it, it's one of the intermission attacks. So there's no getting around it. I have to just get good and learn to dodge it, or use bombs. Damn it. Oop. Hang up. I'm getting a call. It was the doctor's office, confirming an appointment. We're fine. And the boss is dead. And I have a bit of an interesting decision here. Do I do the second phase, or do I just let him die? I think I'm just going to go on with the rest of the run. Just depends. If I can dodge this, then we'll see. He's being very kind. Ooh, barely. We are safe. And do I get the fun one? I got the other one. Sad. There's one of these that you can get is a how best to even describe it? It's like it lets you siphon the life out of enemies, and it is really, really, really cool. But the sword is very strong. So no complaints here. Let's do some red key then. I'm excited for this. Especially since I have the shortcuts. I have access to every shortcut without needing to use bombs, which means that I can kind of just carve out a path along this level and then find the place that has the most shortcut areas. Ooh! I'll gladly take another razor. Ooh, this looks good. No. This is my best contender so far. This room I'll get to. I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. That's the unfortunate accidents one. That's pretty good. But that claw is the reason why this sword can be so powerful. Because the way that it works is there is just a percentage chance that when you swing the sword, it will fire out a claw that will latch onto the nearest enemy and do a metric ton of damage to it. I'm a little scared to check to see if it'll use regular bombs or excavation bombs here. I'm gonna try to go all the way down to the right and hope that that's an excavation path, and if it's not, I'm just gonna use the one up here. Oh, I'm getting double combat rewards because of the what's that? Magic wand? It was one of the temple rewards. So this is a max of 2. 0, okay. This is a bit of an annoying spot because I know there's not one here, I know there's not one here. There might be stuff in this direction. Let's keep searching. There's kind of like it's... I'm basically playing with Soul of Cain right now, where I need to find the spot that's has the most potential options before I let it rip. I did get... this is one of the best synergies with Skully, excuse me, is Ricochet with Backshot, because it basically doubles your damage. And double damage is pretty good. Yep. Ideally, I want to try to swap out some of the lesser L-shaped stuff for Sideblade to reduce the cooldown on the sword swipe, but that implies that I can actually find it. I don't see anything better than this spot. Let's just let it rip. Ooh, 3. And then there's a slim chance I find more excavation bombs. Nah. Found other bombs, at least. Fire rate, crit chance... It's just this again, okay. Efficient battery, this is fire rate. This is a particularly mean one. There we go. Okay, good, it's the normal enemies. And then this might be the guy? Oh, it's Snake. Come on, boring. Boring and also very, very challenging. Come on. There we are. Ooh, another excavation bomb. Nice. Then damage and fire rate versus damage and crit chance. Razor, backshot, razor, ricochet. Fire rate, edged casings. I could let me see here. Get rid of a razor, get rid of a... razor, backshot. Let's try this one. Alright, here it is. This fight has the chance to go very, very fast if I'm lucky. It all depends on those claw shots. Not as insane as it potentially could be, though, because there are some bosses that the claw will stick to them between phases. I believe Overlord is not one of them. There's the claw. Look at that health shred. Gorgeous. This is piercing. Piercing isn't great here. Adamantite tips. Damage plus 20%. That is a lot. Yeah, the squares are usually really awkward to work around. Damage, swarmers. Fire rate, razor damage. Keeping edge. I could take a damage down right now and try and find something to stick here. Let's go with that. It's like, regardless, this is a pretty good build. The combination of high damage with Reality Edge is going to make quick work of basically everything. Even if it doesn't feel optimal, I swear this is a good build. And I mean, it's not the character where you want to argue about being optimal, because you will be overanalyzing it for actual hours. I've had to claw myself away from a Python program trying to optimize how best to play this character, and I just stopped myself. I was like, I'm going to be here all day if I try that. It's the curse of computer science that once you have those tools, at least for personally, now that I know that I have those tools, I need to stop myself from trying to apply it to literally every issue in my life. Because I know that I'll be there for hours for each problem trying to optimize it. And it will technically be better by the end, but I have better things to do with my life. Maybe I will eventually make that optimizer. Because I think at the end of the day, it's just a search tree problem, which shouldn't be too hard to optimize, because there are symmetries in there. It's like, you only have to check like a quarter of the nodes in the tree, because there's a four-way symmetry. Since the shape that you're trying to fill is also can be like rotated and flipped, and it will remain the same. I'm not good enough at, what the hell's the name of it? Okay, here's the energy bombs that I was talking about. Group theory, that's what I'm thinking of. I'm not good enough at group theory to really understand how that kind of stuff works, but it is technically, you can use it to get a lot of optimizations for very specific functions and algorithms and programs. Functions and algorithms and programs. Man. The language of computer science is a damn wasteland. There's so much, like, words that mean the same thing. Or, words that are misused by the general public because the, computer science community sucks at letting people know what's proper language. I think that's the reason why I think AI has had such a profound effect on the computer science community at large, because we never got a good definition for what AI is before it blew up and everyone knew about it. I think I see a vision here. I still have one more floor. Hi! How are you guys doing? I still have one more floor to make this work. And that floor has a weapon chest on it. But one of the major problems with AI was always that the term AI is such a hot-button issue in the computer science community because no one can agree on how to actually define the word. And because it's fused into pop culture, that makes it even harder to work with, because everyone has their own definition of what they think AI is, and there's so many different factors, including but not limited to what movies they grew up watching. Like, if you grew up watching Terminator, you have a completely different perception of AI than someone who grew up on TikTok. Okay, so it does carry over. Look at his health go down. Wow. Wow. This build is nuts. 2 double adamant type tips will do that, I guess. But it feels like a weak build because of how I did a bad job at defragmenting everything. Also, this boss is loud as hell and very irritating to fight. So my apologies on that. Ah. It's like it seems to do okay damage. It seems to do very good damage while I have, like, Scrap Runner up and while the chains are active, but as soon as those chains are gone, my damage falls off a cliff. Hoping that I can get Side Blade to buff it up. Because there is a weapon piece that I can get, but it adds a normal sword swipe, and if I also have Edge of Reality, then it reduces the cooldown of the cool sword swipe instead. And that is pretty great. It's a huge increase too. It's just you don't see it very often because finding multiple copies of any of the weapons is rough. Survival kit. No, I can do better. Crock shot is good. Not what I want, though. Contract, I'll take it. Contract does a lot of damage. I have Crowbar, so I might be able to get enough for this crate from this boss. We'll see. Ooh, hey, another excavation bomb. Ooh, hey. I end up with so much money when I'm playing this as this character, it's kind of insane. Ah, that was the excavation bomb. Sad. I really wish there was a reticle that showed what your next bomb was going to be. Like, especially when you're trying to min-max excavation bombs, you kind of just have to assume that it's going to use it next no matter what, because the game does not tell you. Oops. That was just a genuine mistake. They're still obnoxious, but I really, really like how the Illusioners look now. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hi, guys. How's it going? That room on a high loop would be really, really, really tough. Worth a shot. Fine. Braveheart's a pretty good pickup. I doubt it'll come into play very much, but it is nice to have. Fine, I guess I take Hapophilia. It's not a very good... Not very good, but it is better than just extra ammo. Because I guarantee I'm going to work through the rest of my ammo by the time I'm clear with this floor. Ooh, that was a cool sound. Ooh, two of them. Razor or Ricochet? I don't have Backshot anymore. Oops. Piercing, Hapophilia, Carburetor. Let's go. Let's bring back the Razor. That seems pretty good here. Whoa. Is there ammo? There is ammo over here. One firebomb. Wow. Alright. Oops. Well, I've gotten very good at fighting this boss. That was a bad start. I've gotten very, very good at fighting this boss. And its various sub-bosses. But I think just off of the changes from the Into Oblivion DLC, this might be my favorite boss in the game. Or DLC, excuse me, the content update. It's weird to live in a world where, like, DLC, despite the fact that DLC just means downloadable content, like, the implication is always that it's paid, which is very weird to wrap my head around. It's like free DLC. I mean, the term free DLC almost feels redundant. Also, yeah, that was the Radiant. I think that's the only boss in here that's a reference, but I could be wrong. I know there's a boss, there's a boss that you can find in the Gauntlet that's a direct reference to another bullet hell game. It's the purple ship. I forget the name. I forget what it's referencing, but it's the Arms Master ship. Nah. But this boss got such a glow up. And again, this is gonna feel like this is gonna feel unrelated. I was considering doing runs on Loop 13, but I think I'm gonna wait. Just to see how this does and to see if it's worth putting myself through hell. Because I've already shown that I have beaten Loop 13 once. And I actually got a run in the other day where I did it with Skully with a obscenely powerful build. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But this run has been stellar. Rip Bozo. Hell yeah. Yeah, that went super well. I was not expecting to get a Chaos God kill in on that run. Grim Arbiter. Grim Arbiter, I'll take it. But yeah, just to show it off, I have a lot of stuff disabled. I have Consecrated and Anti-Magic Weapons disabled, and Akashic, because disrupting weapons are just really good. So many of the most problematic enemies are machines. Swarmer Pack, this is what includes the cartridge that doubles Swarmer damage. I'm probably going to re-enable this, just for the sake of Skully. I have all weapon types enabled except Razor. I'm just going to re-enable Razor because it doesn't affect Skully at all. I have all the bombs disabled except Energy. I have Second Wind. Yeah, that was a good run. Definitely going to be doing more of this. That was fun. Thanks. That's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching.